Hey guys, this is Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. In today's episode, I want to share some lessons that I have personally learned while developing my brand. And if you want to have a business, you're going to need a brand, whether it's a personal brand or not. You'll need a way so that you can communicate with your audience. And there are new tools coming in the market all the time that makes this process of building brand super easy. Anyone can start to build audience by sharing the content and even build the stores and sell products. So it's never been a better time to build your own brand. But it's all not that easy, because if it was that easy, then everybody would be successful. But the thing is, it does take a lot of time, a lot of persistence and dedication to build your brand and to be successful. So in this video, I want to share 4 things that I learned over the period of the last year while building my brand. Number 1, people are more likely to engage with a person rather than a brand. And I'm not talking about huge brands like Nike or Adidas, because those brands are different, because they've invested millions upon millions in advertising, and they've also proven to people that they can produce a really high quality products and people love them. People know these brands, they know what these brands represent, and obviously they're not going anywhere. But what I'm talking about freshly created brands that people don't know about, and then comparing them with the actual person. See, when I created my community, I named it Driven by Goal, and I set up all my social media profiles as that. And then when I started to share content and shared my message, I realized quickly that the people weren't really engaging because nobody knew what it is. And also there was like a gap between me, obviously the person who was creating a content, and the people who were seeing this content. There was almost this brand in between, which was like a gap in between me and customer. What I was reading on the time, I was reading one of the Daniel Priestley's book. I was actually reading 2 books, and I can't remember in which of the books I found this kind of concept. One of the books I was reading was called Oversubscribed, and other book was called Key Person of Influence. So I don't know exactly in which book, but in one of the books Daniel said that people are more likely to engage with a person rather than with a brand. And I very quickly realized then that is the case, because I could see other profiles having so much more engagement by just having their brand as their name and surname, and that was it. And soon after that, I made this adjustment. I changed all my social media profiles to my name, and my engagement started to quickly increase. Also, I changed my profile pictures. It wasn't anymore a logo of Driven by Goal, but it was my picture, because I wanted people to see it and I wanted people to engage with me. So if you are at the beginning now, and if you're considering to build a brand, then that's one thing to keep in mind. You know, whether you want to create a brand or you want to create a personal brand and just be the person who you are. Of course, there are benefits for both. As I said, I find that personal brands are better in terms of creating more engagement. But the downside is, if you create a personal brand, then it's kind of totally attached to you. Obviously, you cannot really kind of sell it or move away from it. It's just you. Whereas if you create independent brand, and if it becomes successful, then you can later kind of either sell it or do anything else with it and move it to somewhere else. So there is advantages and disadvantages for both of them, and only you can make the right decision. Number 2 is trying to be everywhere. Now, the first thing as you build your brand is you're probably gonna think of the ways, okay, how I'm gonna engage with the people. And the most easiest and the cheapest way, of course, is to go to social media. Obviously, we have a lot of social media outlets. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and lots more where you can engage with your audience. And that's what most of the people do. That's what I did when I created my community and my brand. I started up and set up all the accounts on all social media. But the problem with trying to be on all social media is that you really dilute your focus. You cannot stay focused on one central thing. You try to be everywhere. And even if you think like, oh yeah, if I write a piece of content, it's just easy for me to copy paste and distribute to all channels. But what you have to understand is that each channel is different. Each channel has a different structure on how you deliver the message, how you build a community around it, and how you actually drive the traffic to your e-commerce store or to your brand. Even if I write an article or a little piece of content about something, if I wanted to share it across my social media, I would have to adjust it for each of the outlets separately. Because, for example, on Instagram, you really can't include links in your caption. Obviously, you would have to, at the end of the post, you would have to include your handle, then you have to take the person to your main page, to your account, and then in your account, there is one clickable link that can link to external pages outside of the Instagram. Facebook is fine because on a Facebook you can include the links and you can drive the traffic in that way. But again, then if you want to post on Twitter, you have to take the piece of the message only because it's limited in terms of how much content you can put in there. And by doing that over and over and over, it really adds up. It really adds up, and it's really hard to stay focused and and growing your community and driving traffic. I kind of have felt it for over a period of some time, and I wanted to do something about it because I just felt like I'm falling behind all the time. And obviously the message that I share, I can't really engage in any further conversations because I'm just all the time kind of adjusting this message for the platform and trying to kind of grow everything. And also then I recently read a book by Mark W. Schaefer. The book is called Known, How to Become Known in Digital World. And that really kind of was like eye-opener. And he was really emphasizing that you have to find your space. You have to find your space where you want to be, and you have to focus on that. So what I recently did, and obviously I took some actions about it. I didn't just carry on doing what I do, and I stopped posting on Twitter, and I stopped posting on my Facebook page. So the only social media account that I still support and where I put all the effort in is Instagram, because I decided that's the platform where I want to grow, and that's where I've been putting most of the effort in. And I can really see a huge difference when I start to focus on one thing. I can really kind of grow it so much faster. I can really engage with the people, and I can really grow it. So that would be my advice. First of all, if you're interested in building your personal brand, read this book, Known by Mark W. Schaefer. It's an amazing book. It's one of my favorite books so far this year. And that's gonna give you a lot of kind of structure, also how to build your personal brand. So this is number 2: is don't try to be everywhere. Choose one platform where you want to grow and then focus on it. Number 3 is engaging with your audience. Now, this is one of the things I underestimated, and I never set aside the time to go back and engage with my audience, and also kind of, other people who were on the platform by going and following other accounts and really kind of trying to create that engagement. I was just thinking that, oh yeah, my job is to create the content and then people will just comment and everything is gonna be going like that. But it wasn't, and obviously I also looked at other big accounts, and you might have done the same. You look at the big accounts and you see they create this content and people comment and they never comment back. But the thing is that they are already big. They have built that audience, and they have thousands, if not millions of followers, and they create that community on their own. They're chatting with each other and answering each other's questions because there is a lot of followers. But while you're small, that is very critical and very important component to not forget about, and I underestimated it. As I said, I didn't set the time on the side to say I have to go back and engage and communicate with my audience, and I wouldn't answer if somebody left a comment and that kind of stuff, and it very quickly kind of dried up. Obviously there was no comments at all, because it's not only the person that you reply to. If somebody asks you the question in the comments, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere, it's not only for that one person, it's also for other people who will scroll down and see that there is a question being asked, and obviously the account holder hasn't gone back and replied, and that other person will think, well, it's not it's no point for me to ask anything, because it doesn't seem like account holder is active and actually engaging with the community. So it's super important that when you're planning to hold these accounts, that you're also going to need to go and engage with your audience. And this actually directly goes back to previous point that we discussed about being everywhere. This is one of the things why it's almost impossible for you to be everywhere, because it's just going to take so much time and effort to kind of be everywhere. Like, I'm now on one media where I engage with my audience very deeply. It's on Instagram, and it's already taking a lot of time. So unless you have a team that do that on your behalf, or something like that, it's that's what I would suggest. Focus on one channel and do go back and engage with your audience, because that's the best way how to grow. And number 4 is don't focus on front end. Now, social media is great for creating engagement and building relationships, but it's not really good for direct selling. Now, you can include some posts where you send them directly to the page where you sell something, but that should be like a small proportion of the content that you share. Otherwise, you're gonna scare away and nobody will want to engage with you, because all you do is just share the posts where people can buy something. So it's all about building relationships. And obviously the best way how to kind of use social media is to kind of build these relationships and then take them a little bit further to get some more content. And obviously the best way is if you create a cheat sheet or some ebook, then make it a gated content. At the end of the post, if you write something about specific topic, and then you can say, hey, I've got this ebook, or I've got this cheat sheet that I use, and there is more information about it, and you can get it by going to my landing page and obviously download it. So you will exchange that piece of content against the user's emails, and then you can use email to further nurture the lead and then sell further down your sales funnel. So always use social media as a tool that you use to kind of build a relationship and share the content, and then take the person down further to the sales funnel. So these are the 4 things that I learned over the last year, and obviously I've made these adjustments to my brand, and I've seen a great growth in terms of when I started to focus on less things but engaging more and building my community around one specific space. If you have any questions about building a brand, building online brand, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're building an online business and you want to follow my journey on how I build my online business, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. This was me, Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. 4 things that I learned over the period of the year that I think. And number 4 is don't focus on the front end. In today's episode, I'm gonna be sharing with you some lessons